Hoi hoi.
No, we're not doing that.
Why?
No, we're not.
Why?
No, because
Why?
that's Scott's thing, man, you know? Hi, hi.
Hey hey.
Hey, hey.
Terrible. By this point, we probably should have an introduction.
We don't have... Yeah, but we got rid of it. We used to have a purposeful introduction.
Right, yeah.
Where it went straight in.
Yeah.
But that just got hard to do because we had to naturally talk.
Didn't you want an introduction at the start where we both said something?
Yeah, we did for like the first 5 episodes.
Terrible.
Yeah, because we had a really stupid like thing where you said a bit and then I said a bit.
Mm-hmm. Awful.
And it was like,
Absolutely
what was
awful.
it? It was like,
don't
let's ramble about coasters.
Oh, Christ, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, let's swiftly move on to that, onto something else even. Today we're talking about Fly, Minisode 20 even.
Every time we're like,
Every time.
episode 20. It's not.
Yeah, so Fly, what is Fly? It's a roller coaster.
Yeah, funny that.
That's it, we're done. No, so Fly is a flying launch coaster. It's an acronym, apparently, Fly, F-L-Y,
For
which
what?
stands for Flying Launch Coaster.
Oh no.
Where's
why?
Yeah, why?
No, why? The letter Y.
Exactly. Doesn't make sense.
What?
Anyway, Fly is a new roller coaster coming to Phantasialand in Germany. This is the part with Taron, the double launch coaster by Intamin, and Black Mamba, the B&M invert, you know.
And the best jambalaya in the world.
Indeed, a famous German theme park, one that is heavily themed. All of the areas are very well detailed. Mm-hmm. So they're building, or they have been building, this new roller coaster since the debut of Taron in 2016.
So it's taken 4 years to get to this point.
Yep, they're still building it. Obviously, groundwork started first, and then construction of the ride began like a year and a half after that.
Is this the one where they covered it up so well that you literally couldn't see
Yeah.
what was going on at all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't really. We've already been able to see a few things from photos, but
Right.
we don't really know much about anything at the inside. Mm-hmm. So it's still very, very secretive. But yeah, no, it's a launch coaster and it's a flying launch coaster. So it's the world's first flying launch coaster.
Weird.
Indeed, it will have 2 launches, not 1 but 2. One of them is inclined, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. The first one's not, or the second one's not.
One of them isn't.
Well, it makes
I don't know
sense
which one will allow.
that the first one would be inclined.
Probably. I know that one of them takes you up to the highest point.
Yeah.
So on top of being the world's first flying launch coaster, it's also going to be the world's longest flying coaster.
Okay.
So it's,
And the world's longest launch flying coaster.
well, yeah,
I guess it's
by
the
default.
only one.
So yeah, they haven't said how long it is, but Flying Dinosaur is 1,124 meters long, which is currently the longest. So it's going to be quite long.
How long is that in time?
It's not
that
how
a
it
bad
works.
question?
That's not how it works. is it?
Okay.
We don't know how long the time is going to be.
Does that mean it's going to be a substantially long time
Well,
of coaster?
probably not.
So it's still going to be like a fairly average coaster time.
I imagine so. I
Yeah.
can't imagine it being too dissimilar to Taron in terms of time.
Right, okay.
With always with like double launch coasters, you know, one section is always much longer than the other.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be the same, won't it? Mm. But flying is a very interesting ride for several reasons. The first is it has a steampunk theme.
Yes.
So
Which I've never seen anything like this before, right?
no,
Anything along
Disney
these
have done
lines?
some steampunk themes, but then
But not for a ride, right?
Space Mountain was
Is that the
steampunky,
same?
kind of. No,
I wouldn't say that's steampunk.
I guess not. I don't know. Yeah, not many people have successfully done a steampunk theme.
Yeah.
So the ride will be part of an entirely new area of the park, Rookburg.
Which means?
Rookburg.
How did I know?
So yeah, and that area will come with a new hotel and a few restaurants, shops.
So this
you
is
know.
the only ride as
we
far
know,
as we know.
As far as we know, and it looks to be the only ride. Yeah.
But okay, so this area is by, if I remember correctly, it's by the kiddie bit where the whingers are,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there's kind of a little strip of
It sits between
walkway.
the main street, the main entrance to the park. You know, when
Yeah.
you walk down Berlin.
and if you turn left,
Yep.
you get you go towards Whingers, but it's between there and Whingers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there'll be an entrance either side.
So how much space are we talking about? Is that actually room for another ride?
Probably not.
So this is it, kind of thing.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a huge amount of space, especially when you put in obviously
To be
a massive
fair,
roller
though,
coaster.
when you think about Phantasialand, all the areas have basically one ride because it's so tight.
Yeah.
It's not like other parks where you get, a big ride and then like a couple of little rides in an area.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We don't really know for sure. They haven't said anything for sure. They've only said that they're building Fly, but
yeah,
they haven't said anything else as of now. But there might be more to come. Who knows? But yeah, no, the hotel, it's a pod hotel.
What?
Pod.
Does that mean it's got pods where you sleep?
Well, the whole room is like a pod.
What?
So instead of it being like a normal hotel, there's these prefabricated pods that all slide together.
Yeah. I'm shook. What?
What do you mean? What?
So there's like, are you talking about those
pod
ones
room.
where you? Oh, so not like a bed where you just slot into
a pod
it.
room, a whole room, but it's like a pod shape.
So it's just a funky hotel.
Yeah, but it's meant to be a cheaper hotel,
Right.
less
so it's
space.
prefab.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. That still sounds cool though.
Yeah, well,
as a visual.
It adds to the offering.
Yeah.
And obviously it'll look over the ride like the other hotels do.
Yeah.
Their
They have a lot of
respective
hotels though, right?
Already. 2 other ones.
Okay.
Chinese one and a African one.
Okay.
So
So a good addition then to have a third one.
Well, this is it. That's obviously taken up quite a bit of space as well.
Yeah.
Another interesting aspect of Fly is that it's going to be, or it's heavily rumoured that it will feature, and will most likely feature, rotating seats.
Okay. You've spoken about this before, but
Yes.
I still don't really get it.
So the seats, essentially, it's difficult to explain, but...
Okay, well imagine I sit down into the seat.
So
what happens?
So it's likely that you're going to be boarding it like an invert. I mean, you board B&M flying coasters like an invert, right?
Yeah.
Where the seats are just
as they normally are.
Yeah, as they normally are, right? But instead of the seats being along the track, where usually they're periodically placed along the track. Mm-hmm. So they're perpendicular to the direction of the track.
Yeah.
Right? So they make a cross.
Yeah.
These ones are most likely going to be parallel to the direction of the track. So that you're sitting into the seat and the track will be behind you. And everyone's track will be behind them.
Imagine you're facing forwards on a normal ride.
Yeah.
Turn 90 degrees left, and that's where you're facing.
Yeah.
That's weird, but why?
Because this is all about the different boarding sequence, right? So you'll board like that, it'll dispatch like that.
Oh.
And then as you go around...
It spins 90 back to the front.
The track will rotate 90 degrees, so it's flat now. If you can imagine, it was on its side, so that you're on its side, and then it rotates 90 degrees so the trains are underneath. And as it does that, you'll twist so that you're facing forwards.
I'm lost now.
It's very difficult to explain. Let's go through it again.
I thought the track...
Yeah.
So imagine a normal roller coaster.
Yeah.
Imagine an invert.
Yeah.
Right? So the track's there, and then underneath is the 4 seats.
Right.
I thought you meant you turn each of the 2 sets of seats 90.
No.
Left and right, so that they're kind of in parallel with the track.
So the trains are only 2 seats wide, first of all.
Okay.
Per row. Okay, so you're in the station.
Yeah.
The track, the cross ties of the track, the things that hold the 2 rails together, they're facing you. They're not down, they're facing you. Can you envision that? Yeah?
No.
What do you mean no?
Wait, so
imagine you're standing underneath, say, Nemesis track in the station. Right?
Yeah.
That view.
Yeah. I'm facing the way the ride would go.
I'm saying, I'm saying, imagine that view where you see the rails and the cross ties.
Yeah.
You're now standing inside a fly station, normally, looking at the ride, and you can see the rails and cross ties. So the track isn't flat, it's rotated sideways.
Oh. So if you're looking down a track... Not like normally, as if you were sat on Nemesis and the track's above your head, you twist it on its side 90.
Yeah, so now that's what the track looks like in the station. And the train, the back of the train is against that track, right?
The back of the train is against it.
Yeah. So the track is low to the ground, say. The train is against that, and the seats are normal invert seats in that position. So you're looking at the seats, and the seats are looking at you, and the track's looking at you.
I get it now.
And the train's looking at you.
I get it now.
right? So you're dispatched in this seated position.
Yeah.
And as you go along, the track will rotate so that the rails and the cross ties face downwards.
So back to normal.
To normal. And as that happens, you will also rotate so that you're now facing the direction of the track. Because before you were facing away from the track.
Mm-hmm. This is very weird.
So that means that they don't have to do the weird tilty up dispatch thing.
Yeah.
It's meant to save time, and that's the whole point. But it also means that it's a very good ride. Well, it has capabilities for a dark ride section, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're in a perfect position for all the track to be out of the way. Everyone could like curl around a scene. Mm-hmm. Everyone could watch the scene. Mm-hmm. And from the layout we know, there is a windy section before the ride begins properly. Right. So
spoiler alert.
It's looking likely that there will be a pre-show. There isn't a pre-show on any Phantasialand ride. They've been adamant not to include pre-shows before.
Right. Do they have a reason for that? I
just don't think they've been very interested.
Right.
But this one seems to be different, which is very interesting. Because, Taron is themed, but it doesn't have a story, right? And it
doesn't have a story that's obvious to you.
It doesn't have a story.
Yeah.
It has a story, but
that story was a real
just
story.
Complete BS made up afterwards, right?
Yeah.
They knew what they wanted. They made a story for it.
Yeah.
Whereas this time, it looks like they're making a story and building the ride around it. Hopefully, that's how you make a good ride, right? A good themed experience is you start with the story and you build around it. Like Baron at the Efteling.
Yeah.
They took the story of the mine and built the ride around it. So it looks to be a very unique attraction, First launched flying coaster, first one to utilise these weird ass seats, first Phantasialand ride to feature a pre-show, and it's built by Vekoma.
But what if the pre-show doesn't have a story either?
Yeah, it could just be a random scene.
It could just be like a bit of decoration.
Well, it could just be a scene of some guy flying off in his jetpack.
Or like
yeah, it might not.
Oh, you haven't been at Disneyland Paris. What's the mountain one called?
Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
What about it?
That has stuff. That has areas where you just kind of go through and watch, but there's no story necessarily. It's just kind of themed.
Effects.
Yeah.
It could well be.
Yeah.
It could well be.
It could be, as it's theme punk, it could just be like all cogs and like machinery and things like that going on.
The only reason I don't think it is that is because, well, take Big Thunder Mountain. They only put the additional effects into places like the lift hill, right?
Yeah.
They don't have a section that's specifically for it. They only put it into places that they have because of anything else,
Yeah.
Because of the fact that it has to go under the water,
mm-hmm.
Under the water through a tunnel, so they put it in boring sections.
Yeah.
This is literally what it looks like on the plans is, imagine a square, but it gets higher as it goes around the square, the four sides of the square.
Okay.
So why would they build this weird square?
Right.
Because it loops back on itself. It's like a loop.
So do you think they're going to use screens? Because they love a good screen, don't they?
Well, I hope it's a combination of practical effects and screens, because they're always the best. When you have a nice combination of the two, you can tell a story, but it's not too screen-based.
It'd be cool if it was like the guy in their poster.
Well, exactly.
What's he meant to be doing? He's built himself a flying machine.
Well, hopefully. I hope this is what the whole theme is about,
Yeah.
Like, he's built a flying machine and you get to experience it.
Yeah. And he could be flying next to you, like, on a screen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is it. You could be ready to launch, and then you see him disappear, and then you go through a piece of that rotates your seat, and then you launch.
Yeah. They could do a lot. If he's meant to be the inventor guy, he could like tell a story.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Exactly. So it's
banter if there's nothing like this.
If there's nothing like this and Phantasialand don't add a pre-show, I'm going to be very annoyed.
Yeah. Because it's just you just can. So why wouldn't you?
It's the perfect setup for it, right? So it'd be a shame if they didn't. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As I said, built by Vekoma.
I was just about to say. This is a good thing for Vekoma to be doing.
Indeed. It's a new Vekoma. Vekoma have built flying coasters in the past, but this is the first new generation one. Mm-hmm. And obviously Vekoma have been doing some really good things recently.
Yeah.
And this looks to be part of that. So hopefully, if it does well and Fly does well and Phantasialand like it, maybe other parks will pick them up as well. Who knows? But yeah, we know a lot of you had some questions about Fly.
Most popular question.
Yeah, well,
when's it
opening? So Fly's been announced since 2017. Properly, they said that they're building a new coaster in 2017.
Okay.
It's extremely likely it's going to open summer this year. Mm-hmm. There's been reports of the trains on the track and some initial testing of launches. Mm-hmm. On the queue times board, Fly has been seen on there testing, as in like a practice time, say 50-minute wait. Say.
Right, so getting the graphics ready.
Yep. The theming outside of the area has really been finished completely now, or is nearly finished, and the park have started to ramp up their marketing of the ride.
Mm-hmm. And they still have months to go.
Exactly. It's probably going to open May, June time.
Yeah.
So that leaves them 3-4 months to do testing and finishing off things.
Yeah.
So 2020 summer 2020 is looking like the likely time. One thing, I've already had some discussions on Twitter about Fly. One of the areas from the outside, the hotel from the outside, it
looks weird.
Really ugly facade.
And also, so basically, show me the picture. It looks like Star Wars.
What? Where?
The whole thing, because like that sand planet.
Right.
It looks like a building from there.
Kind of.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like a sandy building.
Effectively, right. What it looks like is they've got this really nice brick cladding and this really nice like steel brickwork factory look.
And then it ends.
And it's this crap rusted steel looking.
I did not get that impression. I got a sandy impression.
No, it's rusted. It's literally rusted steel. That's what it looks like.
Did not get that at all. It doesn't. I mean, we haven't seen anything else, right? But
it might not be finished.
It doesn't look steampunk to me.
But they've already put the name of the.
So that bit's got to be finished because the name of the hotel's on it.
It's bizarre. It's really bizarre.
I mean, it doesn't look ugly.
It does look ugly.
I don't think. No, I think it looks as they meant it to look.
It looks disgusting.
Old.
No. It looks like concrete that's been there for 10 years, but orange. Mm. It's crap. It's honestly crap. I think it's made worse by the fact that the things next to it is really nice.
It's so good. I think what they're going for with this hotel is budget.
Yes, but they don't have to make it look budget. That's
maybe they're trying not to, but it failed.
It's bizarre. It's really bizarre. We'll see what happens with it. Maybe there's things to add or whatever. So I'll reserve full.
I mean, we haven't seen it in the flesh either. It could just be the photos don't really show how it really looks.
Yeah, exactly. So people have had opinions on that. Other people are asking. Well, Coaster Alex says, "Do you think it'll be a good addition to Phantasialand?" Byron says, "Will it live up to high expectations?" They do have high expectations, but I think this ride's going to be so unique that it will live up to these expectations. Just because it's going to be something that, no one's experienced a flying launch coaster. No one's been launched while in that position before.
Right.
So I don't know. People love flying coasters. Some people do, and it looks to be really crazy.
Yeah.
Layout-wise.
The thing with that is, if you try and imagine how it would feel to be launched in that position, to me, it would feel less intense than sitting normally. Why? Because that's the way you should travel in a launch. Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
Your body is like in line with where you're going, so there's going to be less of a impact of like you're moving forwards. Do you see what I'm saying?
But what it will feel like is, when you're going through the valley of a roller coaster and you get pushed into your seat, it's going to feel like that, because it is that. Normally on a launch, you're being pushed backwards into your seat, right? Now you're pivoted forwards, you're going to be pushed backwards into your seat through your butt, right? No, you see what I mean? So it'll be the exact same feeling of being squished,
yeah.
but
I
just
get
not
it.
as much.
No, I get that it'll be the same. I just don't think it's going to be that impactful.
It won't, honestly.
Which maybe it doesn't need to be, but
I think humans are better at withstanding positive G forces, like in that direction.
Yeah.
As in the valley direction, rather than forward direction.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean.
It's interesting.
So it might feel crap.
Who knows? Yeah. But a lot of people on Instagram have been saying that it's just overhyped.
I don't...
Which everybody did this for Taran, didn't they?
I don't think it's overhyped, really, because no one knows what it is. I don't know how you can overhype something that you don't know what it is.
Yeah, true.
Or if people have been overhyped by it, I have obviously been in the wrong place.
A lot of people said it's overhyped.
I'm trying to assess whether the first launch is... so the launch is like weirdly angled, one of them. That must be the first launch. I mean the second... Yeah, no, the first.
Yeah.
I think the first launch is the hill.
It's got to be upwards, yeah.
And the second one is some sort of just straight launch.
Somebody said...
Quite high up though.
Will the second launch be backwards? The trains have a turntable.
They could do that. Oh, you can't launch someone backwards like that.
You can though, can't you?
You can't, not in that position.
So what's this about a turntable?
No, he means the seats.
Oh, I see, just turn the seats around.
Because effectively you could just turn the seats around.
You could.
But if they launched you in that way, all of your weight would be on your shoulders against this vest. And that sounds like hell.
Yeah, true.
And it'd probably feel like hell.
But, because think of Revolution.
But they could test it. Yeah. You know, they have the freedom to launch people in any direction they want.
And they can just, maybe it's, imagine if it's just a random choice every time.
Yeah, literally. You could be launched in
They should do the button selection like that other ride where you choose which way you want to go. Everybody could go a different way as well.
Yeah,
you could just pick literally for yourself.
Yep.
That's mad.
0 credits remaining says, as another low to the ground launching coaster, I wonder if people will like it as much or more than Taran. Really excited to see a highly themed flying coaster.
I think it's a lot different to Taran.
I think it is.
It's a different ball game.
Yeah, it is a different ball game.
Still has a ball, the launch, but it's a different ball game.
Right. Yeah, no, well, it makes sense it has a launch because they can't build very high.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's just going to feel very different. In that position, it's going to feel very different. But yeah, it has very many similar characteristics where it's low to the ground, it dives through different buildings, it's, whipping in and out of tunnels and whatever. I just hope it's a better layout than Taran. Because on paper, Taran's layout isn't great. And it's a bit wishy-washy here and there. So this one looks mental from the pictures we've seen so far. So who knows? Yeah, no, from the layout, it just seems to have a lot of whippy transitions, several inversions. That's something to note. There are inversions on this coaster, thank God, because Taran doesn't have any and it should. If you think Taran shouldn't have an inversion, you're wrong. I don't know how many inversions this has. It's got a few overback turns. But no, it looks crazy. It's going to be another area of the park where all you see is roller coaster around you, like Klugheim. So we're really looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll get to ride it this year. Hopefully. We
unexpectedly planned a trip there.
Indeed. Well, not to Phantasialand, but to Cologne, right?
Yeah. So if it's open,
we'll be
on it.
Yes, and we'll give you our full thoughts afterwards.
We will.
But yeah, that's it from this Minisode.
Yep. Make sure you're following us on everything.
Yeah.
And leave us a review if you fancy it.
And let us know what topics you'd like us to discuss as well. You can tweet us at CoasterBot or at CBR Podcast.